$86 million in total individual assistance from FEMA and $1.5 billion in SBA loans that have been approved. More than 4,000 residents have visited our disaster recovery centers, and more than 25,000 survivors have been connected to our county for information and for support. In phase 1 of debris removal operations, more than 300 tons of household hazardous waste was removed. For phase 2, it is estimated that 4.5 million tons of debris will be removed as well. We've received more than 9,000 right of entry forms of the more than 13,500 eligible properties. Almost 4,000 of these have been validated and submitted to the Army Corps for phase 2 of debris removal. These aren't just numbers. They represent real lives that have been impacted and real progress that is being made. We will continue to keep up this momentum. Our county is committed to making progress for our residents to recover and rebuild quickly. This is the fastest debris removal effort that has been stood up post-fire in the history of Los Angeles County at a scale that has never been seen before. However, I want to emphasize that we can and should continue pushing to scale up our efforts. Residents deserve quick, efficient work by the county so that we can work through the debris removal process and get rebuilding underway. Los Angeles County Public Works is committed to increasing our resources. This is to ensure that the rate of entry, processing, and turnover to the Army Corps will ramp up so we get this work done quickly. I'm keeping a close eye on the issue to make sure that that is the case. Before I wrap up, I want to announce that this will be our final weekly press conference, but there will continue to be information provided to our wildfire survivors. I'm committed to keeping residents informed well beyond this, and will continue hosting weekly community meetings every Monday at 4 p.m. to answer residents' concerns and questions. Our recovery.lacounty.gov website will continue to update on an ongoing basis. Wildfire survivors deserve to have all the information and resources that they need. With that, I would now like to turn it over to our Director of Public Works, Mark Pastrella. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. As mentioned, we have a storm event coming already upon us this morning and through tonight. The rainfall Wednesday through Thursday evening, we expect 1 to 2 inches for coast and valley areas, 2 to 4 inches in the foothills and mountains. Rainfall intensities between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch per hour, with about a 20% chance of thunder showers. Snow at 3,000 feet and 12 inches in higher elevations. The peak intensity forecast for Thursday is between 2 and 5 a.m. This, as Supervisor mentioned, presents a condition in which we have recommended, and the sheriff and PDs from across all communities that have been affected by fire have commenced on evacuation directions as well as warnings throughout the burn areas. These evacuations are very strategic, they're very precise. They were part of a recommendation from Public Works. We analyzed the most vulnerable locations. We've knocked on people's doors. We've analyzed the conditions at their homes. And in some situations, and this is the situation for this event, we've recommended evacuation to our sheriff as well as the city public police departments. Thank you to our first responder partners and our Office of Emergency Management for coordinating this across the city. So those of you who are being given a warning or given an evacuation direction, we ask that you comply with those directions because we do expect that we're going to have some debris flow in this event, meaning we will see debris in streets at the locations that have already been identified. We expect traffic issues. We expect unsafe conditions for driving, and therefore we are shutting down PCH beginning at noon today, and local mountain roads will also be closed by 6 p.m. This evening. All those closures can be found at our site at readylacounty.gov. You can also call our dispatch number at 1-800-675-HELP. or 1-800-675-4357 for updates or for help if you need it during the storm event. Since the supervisor also gave me the opportunity to talk about debris removal program, our debris removal program is commencing at a pace that has never been seen before. We're proud of that, but we know that there's always more we can do. In fact, the residents that have opted into this program can help us with this, and those that haven't can help us. I want to remind everybody that a March 31st deadline is approaching, in which we need to hear from survivors, from those eligible property owners, to make a decision about whether or not you're going to have the government do this program or you're going to be doing that on your own. All properties that have been impacted must be cleared, must be cleared. That is the mission. The total mission by the county is to clear all of the debris, ash and debris, whether we do it as a government agency with the Corps of Engineers or you do it on your own. What people can do that have already opted in, that haven't made the final decision whether they want this service, is sign their ROEs. What I'm finding is that a number of people, a lot of people, have made this option, leaving open their option by applying for this program, but haven't actually signed the final signature to it. And I get it. What people are doing is trying to decide who can do this faster, who can do this quicker, because I know that residents want to have this done as quickly as possible. So they're considering their options, whether private or public. Whichever way you go, we'd like you to make a commitment to that by March 31st. So for those of you that have opted in and have not finalized your documentation, I'd ask that you revisit our site and let us know which way you're going to go with this so that we can, as Supervisor said, accelerate the program even further. I'm really proud of the fact that we have submitted already 4,000 ROEs to the Army Corps of Engineers for work. This means 4,000, as Supervisor said, families, residents of LA County are signed up and ready to go, and on that on-ramp, as the Corps says, ready to have their sites cleared. We expect to reach 5,000 ROEs by Thursday this week and continuing on throughout the week at a pace, again, that hasn't been seen before. Let me also just mention that we have one-stop permitting centers already open in LA County. We want to make sure that people aren't waiting for their debris removal to start the process of rebuilding, that in fact they're making applications or preparing to make applications for rebuilding. Those resources are available to you again at recovery.lacounty.gov. Thank you very much. And now I believe we're having Colonel Swenson will be up next.
Good morning, LA County, and thank you for the opportunity to provide this week's update on our Phase 2 debris removal operations. We, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, remain committed to helping the residents of Los Angeles County recover and rebuild after devastating wildfires. Today I'll cover our operational progress, updates to hazardous tree markings, and some new options for submitting tree removal waivers. So for the Phase 2 updates, our team continues to make significant progress in debris removal across both affected areas in Eaton and Palisades. We have received just shy of 4,000 rights of entry from the county, and that number continues to go up each day. We have active work going on 629 parcels that are in various stages of debris removal, to include primary debris removal, hydromulching, erosion control, tree removal, and final walkthroughs as they prepare for closeout of those parcels. We've completed a total of 242 parcels to date, and again, that number continues to go up each day. For property owners who've submitted an opt-in right of entry to the county and are wondering when debris removal will begin for their property, if we've received your validated right of entry from the county and processed it, you will receive a notification call 3 to 5 days out from when your property is up for debris removal. We're building crews every day, and so we'll be making more and more calls every day. If you do not answer your call, we will leave a voicemail, and we will continue to try to reach survivors so that we can have you as partners in this process as your debris gets removed. Let me talk briefly about deferred properties. These are properties that the EPA had deferred Phase 1 cleanup of due to overhead hazards. We've now cleared over 2,354 of those properties. that were deferred to us by the EPA. And again, those were deferred for things like structural instability, access issues, or safety hazards. Crews continue to coordinate with property owners to address these challenges and complete debris removal as efficiently as possible. Now on to tree markings. As mentioned last week, our tree assessment process has been refined to ensure accurate and transparent tracking. You will now see updated tree markings. So blue dots. Trees marked with blue dots at the base and a barcode have been determined to be hazardous and are scheduled for removal. Yellow dot with a yellow ribbon. If a property owner submits a hazardous tree removal waiver, the tree will be marked with a yellow dot at the base and a yellow ribbon wrapped around the trunk. The barcode will be removed, and this update will be recorded in the contractor's system to ensure the tree remains in place. And finally, brown dots. If a tree is reassessed and determined to be non-hazardous by a higher level ISA certified arborist, it will be marked with a brown dot over the existing blue dot. The barcode will be removed, and this update will be recorded to confirm that the tree will not be removed in our system. On to some changes for tree removal. Property owners now have an additional way to submit hazardous tree removal waivers. Completed forms can be mailed to, if you're in the Eaton area, Eaton Call Center, all one word, at ecc.net. And if you're in the Palisades fire impacted area, it's Palisades Call Center at ecc.net. Property owners can also submit the forms in person during the 360 property walkthrough that precedes debris removal operations. Before I close, I have one safety request for the community. I ask that if you're out and about one of the impacted areas, to please slow down when driving near, in, or around our work zones or work areas. There are some drivers who are speeding past crews and coned off areas, which is dangerous for all parties. This fire was costly for this community in many ways, and we do not want to see anyone else injured or worse during the recovery operation. So please slow down if you see our work crews. In closing, our teams remain committed to working quickly and safely to complete wildfire debris removal. We appreciate the community's continued patience and cooperation as we move forward with these critical recovery efforts. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to the call centers or visit our outreach teams at the community resource centers. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Swenson. We'll now transition to the question and answer portion of our press conference.
So you've been watching a news conference by some of our government officials giving us an update regarding the wildfire debris removal process. So they are moving at a quick pace there. But the big concern right now is the incoming storm, expected to arrive between 2 and 5 in the morning tomorrow night. Or tomorrow morning, I should say. So they're anticipating 1 to 2 inches in most areas, 2 to 4 inches in the foothills, up to a foot of snow in our mountains. And the concern is they're expecting debris flows to come with this storm. So that means debris in streets as well as unsafe driving conditions and traffic issues. So they want everyone to be aware of that and to take precautions. So we'll continue to keep you updated on the incoming storm as well as this big story on NBC4 and NBCLA.com as well as the streaming channel here. Take care.
With Democrats divided over wanting to push back against the Trump administration, but not wanting to add to economic uncertainty with a shutdown. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Burbank police are warning about a rise in key cloner car thefts. They say thieves use electronic devices to scan key